This is Luqman Rafiq here, and I'm the instructor of the Performance Management, Financial Management and Corporate Reporting papers at Escribir Academy. The agenda for session of today is we are launching a free of cost course, which is the fast track course for the performance management, and this is an introductory session on the fast track course. Let me guide you that this course is going to be spread over the next 14-15 sessions, in which we are going to be concluding the whole of the course, and you would be able to watch it for an indefinite period through the YouTube and the Facebook pages of Escribir. So let me just start off. Let's just start discussing about this. First of all, let me show you, in front of me is the performance management syllabus, which is being published by ACCA. And I'm going to take you through the core areas of this paper and will guide you that how you can prepare this paper in the shortest possible amount of time. So if I start off, the first and the foremost important thing is that whenever you are going through any specific paper and you want to target the areas which you should do in order to be able to pass the papers, there are a few things that you should know. And what are those few things that you should know? The number one of them is the relational diagram. That what exactly is the relational diagram of this paper? What are the papers that this subject is connected with? As you could see, that there is only one paper for which the prerequisite knowledge is needed, and that is the management accounting paper. If you have gone through the management accounting, so that means you would be able to prepare for the performance management. I repeat, if you have gone through the management accounting, you would be able to prepare for the performance management. But the management accounting paper of the ACCA is just an MCQ based paper, whereas the performance management is not just about MCQs, it's an OTQs plus there are these constructed response questions, etc. So there are multiple type of questions that come across when it comes to the performance management syllabus. Now let me just guide you people through that what are the essential skills, what are the things that you should know. But before that, I will tell you that how is this paper going to be examined when you will be attempting the paper. So the performance management paper, the way it is examined is that there are three sections in the examination. There is this section A, there is this section B, and there is a section C. With respect to section A, it is of 30 marks. The section B is again of 30 marks, and the section C is of 40 marks. With respect to section A, what is it that you get? You get 15 objective test questions, which we call OTQs. How are the OTQs different from the MCQs? What happens is that under the MCQs, you have to choose one answer, which is any one of the answer out of the available options. But when it comes to the objective test question, the objective test question could have multiple type of answering options. Multiple type of answering options could actually be including the drop down. There could be drop down. There could actually be an MCQ. There could be the best choice. There could be different other type of, which is the fill in the blanks, etc., etc. So there are different type of things that you could just come across when it comes to OTQs. So the section A is the 15 OTQs that you have to answer, and each of the OTQ is worth 2 marks. When it comes to section B, you have got 3 case OTQs. Now what do I mean by case OTQs? So there is going to be a question, there is going to be a case study that would be presented to you, and in that case study, attached to that case study would be the 5 OTQs with it. So like each case study is going to be of 10 marks each. So as a result of this, when you would have 3 case studies, so each is case study of 10 mark, 10 mark, 10 mark, resultingly 30 marks is what it is going to be. Lastly, you have got 40 marks, and with respect to 40 marks, you have got 2 constructed response questions. What do you mean by these constructed response questions? Let me guide you about it. When it comes to a constructed response question, so under the constructed response question, what you do is that What you are being given in the examination is a case study. What you are being given is a case study. And with that case study, what actually happens is that you come across two types of questions. One of them is a question which is based on a word processing document, and there is another question which is based on a spreadsheet. Now, so if you have to attempt for the performance management paper, you now understand one thing, which is that there is a 60-mark paper which is based on OTQs, and there is a 40-mark paper which is based on constructed responses, like there is going to be Microsoft Word and there is going to be a spreadsheet. That's what the packages that are going to be available, and you would have to be answering the questions on them. Now, that's one area, that how is the paper examined. Now the second area, which is again an important area, is to know that what are the different type of syllabus areas that are going to be tested in each one of these sections. Now let me just guide you through. So if I tell you the syllabus of this performance management, it has got multiple areas, it has got multiple sections. What you could see is that is the different type of sections that are there in front of you. And you could see that there is this section A, which is about, you could see there is this section A which is about information, technologies and system for organizational performance. Now what do we mean by this? This actually means that there are different type of areas with respect to how that what should be the information system in an organization. How should the organization capture the information? How should it process the information, and how it should present the information. So this specific area, which is section A of the syllabus, this guides you about the different type of informations, how the information could be captured, how it could be processed, and how it could be used upon to evaluate the performance of the organization. And when it comes to this specific section, all that you could expect is that this section is going to be examined in the form of OTQs. You won't be expecting a constructed response question from it. It is going to be majorly the objective test question that you would be expecting out of it. The second specific area is the specialized cost and management accounting technique. Now when we talk about the specialized cost and management accounting technique, so there are 5 different type of techniques which are being used in the modern day cost and management accounting. So we are going to be going through these 5 different type of techniques, namely the activity based costing, the target costing, the throughput accounting, and so on and so forth. There are 5 different type of techniques that we would be going through. Again, this area would be OTQ based, so you would be getting OTQ. Yes, what could happen is that there could actually be a case OTQ, like you could get a case study and there could be 5 OTQs attached to that specific case study. That is something that you can get. But still, what is going to happen is that it's not going to be part and parcel of the constructed response. This is going to be an area covered under the objective test question. Now the next that actually comes in is these 3 areas, which is the decision making techniques. The second is budgeting and control, and the third one of them is performance measurement and controls. With respect to these areas, they could be tested as OTQ, they could be tested at constructed response question. All of this thing could happen with respect to them. So when you would be attempting them, you could actually expect it to be either a constructed response question, you could expect it to be either the budgeting, could be an OTQ. So the section C of the syllabus, would contain questions from these 3 areas, which is budgeting and control, the decision making technique, and the performance measurement and control. Now let me just take you through the syllabus content, that what are the different syllabus content, so that you could have a bit of an idea, and we could just then go about discussing the approach that we would be adapting to cover up all of these in a shortest possible time. So as section A, as I told you, it's about managing information, sources of information, information system, and data analytics. Now when I talk about all these 3 things, so what is going to be happening is that under this section we would be studying that what are the different types of information, where exactly can we capture the information from, And the third and the foremost important thing is that how is this information going to be presented, how is this information going to be processed, and how is it going to be presented. Nowadays there has been a lot of discussion about the data analytics. You know what a data analytics is, that which is when you have got an ample amount of data. So when you want to create a meaningful picture, when you want to create a meaningful picture out of that data, so you got to analyze the data, you got to analyze the different trends, you got to analyze the different movements, you got to analyze that if our sales are taking place, where are these sales taking place, from which country, from which age group, from which gender, from what type of social attributes the people possess, etc., etc. There could be multiple type of things that you could keep in mind, and that could actually be required when it comes to data analytics. Then the next thing is we are going to be talking about the 5 different type of specialized cost and management accounting techniques. The activity-based costing, which is a technique used for the overheads allocation, which is an alternate to the absorption costing that you have studied at the basic level of accounting. Then you've got the target costing, which is ideally used for organizations which are competing and which want to reduce their cost of production. So this target costing is used for those organizations. Then you've got the life cycle costing, which is ideally suited for organizations which have got their products, which have a certain life cycle. So they want to allocate the entire cost, which is the cost from the introduction of the product to the termination of the product. So the life cycle costing is going to be applicable onto those organizations. Then you've got a throughput accounting, ideally suited for organizations which face the different type of constraints. What do you mean by constraints? The constraints are that whenever there is this limitation, when there is limited availability of the resources, so that is a situation when you use this throughput accounting. So what it does is that it helps you determine the best possible outcomes using this constraint. While living in the constraints, there could be a constraint with respect to labor time, there could be a constraint with respect to material, there could be a constraint with respect to multiple things like machine capacity, etc., etc. So this throughput accounting is ideally suited for such organizations. Lastly, you've got environmental accounting. Nowadays there is a discussion of sustainability. Nowadays there is a discussion about the corporate social responsibility. Nowadays there has been an increasing focus upon protecting the environment, preserving the environment. So environmental management accounting is one of those techniques that is actually going to help you. That is actually going to help you in what? It is going to help you in identifying the different type of environmental costs that you incur as an organization, and would help you incorporate those costs into the product cost. So these two sections, the section A and the section B, what are these sections going to do? These sections are going to be focusing mainly on what? These sections are going to be focusing mainly on the information system and the different type of specialized cost and management accounting techniques. And these questions are going to be tested as part and parcel of the objective test question. That's what is going to happen. Now let's move a bit forward and let's discuss the third area of the syllabus, which is about the decision making technique. Now this is one of those areas of the syllabus that is technical, requires different type of concepts, and as you could see that this is about decision making. So when we will be talking about decision making, there would be multiple aspects to the decision making that we would be discussing in that. Now what are those discussion aspects? Number one of them is going to be the relevant cost analysis. What is the concept of relevant cost? So when we talk about relevant cost, you have to understand that whenever you are taking any decision, whether a decision to manufacture a product, a decision to discontinue a product, a decision to invest in a geographical location, etc., etc., there could be multiple types of investment decisions that you could be taking as an organization. So when there are multiple types of decisions that you are taking as an organization, so what would happen is that you would have to decide that which cost to be considered and which cost to be ignored. So this relevant cost analysis is going to tell us, is going to guide us that what are the techniques, what are the different costs that you have to consider, and what are the different costs that you would have to ignore. Then you talk about the CVP, the cost volume profit analysis. What is it going to focus upon? It's going to focus upon that which product should be manufactured in how much quantity. You would keep in mind the cost that is going to be incurred. You would keep in mind the profits that are going to be earned. So the different type of things are going to be kept in mind, and on the basis of that, you would be able to identify the volumes of sales, the volumes of sales that you would have to make in order to achieve the desired profit. So that is again an area which is part and parcel of the decision making. Then limiting factors, again I just talked about the constraints. So this is another area that is dealing with the constraints, where you have got constraints, where you have got limitations, where you have got problems, you are unable to meet the demands. So how would you optimize, how would you allocate the resources in the best possible manner so that you are able to attain the desired objective, desired goal. So this is something that we are going to be covering in here. Then you've got the pricing decisions. Now a very important aspect for any organization is their pricing decisions. If you as an organization are overly priced, you might lose out market to your competitors. And if you are very much underpriced, you might end up incurring losses. So as an organization, it's a very important area. It's a very important thing that what you should be doing is you should be having a very close look at the pricing, at the prices that you charge. That should be keeping in mind the cost that you are incurring. That should be keeping in mind the competition that you are facing. It should be keeping in mind the strategies that your competitors are adapting and the expectation of your customers. So all of that needs to be kept in mind. So under this pricing decision, this is something that we're going to be discussing. Then you have got other decisions like make or buy and the other short-term decisions. So like I could give you a bit of an idea that there are at times products where you have to decide whether you're going to make these products or you're going to buy these products. Now, when we talk about make or buy decisions, so the make or buy decisions is that you got to decide you want to make this product or you're going to buy this product. Means, is it cheaper to make it or is it cheaper to buy it externally and allocate our production facility to some other product? So that's something of a decision that you would have to do. And lastly, dealing with risk and uncertainty. You know it that the world is not risk-free. Any organization having their operations just cannot operate risk-free. As an organization, you are facing risk. You're facing risk with respect to multiple things. You're facing risk with respect to the fluctuations in the demand, fluctuation in the prices of raw materials, and the uncertainties like floods, earthquakes, natural disasters, things like COVID, etc., etc. There could be multiple things which could have an adverse impact upon an entity. So when we are going to be talking about this dealing with risk and uncertainty, this is something that we would be talking about. So decision making technique, an area that could be tested as OTQ, that could be tested as a constructed response question. Again, a very important area, and we are going to be going in detail each and every aspect of this. Then you've got the budgeting and control. So again, budgeting and control is, first of all, you got to do budget. What do you mean by budget? The budget means that you have got to plan, you've got to forecast. That's what the budget is. And when we talk about the control is the activities that are being initiated just to make sure that you stay on track, just to make sure that you are able to achieve your targets, just to make sure that you are able to achieve the desired result, desired budgets. So we would be discussing over here the different type of techniques that are available with respect to budget setting. We would be discussing the different type of variances, the control techniques that are in place in order to make sure that the organization's performance doesn't miss out what it was originally planned to achieve. So here there are going to be different type of variances, there are going to be different type of budget setting exercises. All of this is what we are going to be discussing. Lastly, there is an area which is about the performance measurement and control. Now what is this performance measurement and control? Let me guide you. To me, the students struggle the most in this specific area, which is performance measurement and control. Now why do they struggle in this area. The reason for the struggle is that this area is one of those areas which require a lot of discussion to be done. It requires a lot of discussion to be done. So like you all know that we do calculate ratios. We do calculate different type of ratios, financial, non-financial, etc. This performance measurement and control is you have to calculate, you have to measure the performance of the organization. And then when you measure the performance of the organization, then what you do is that you evaluate the performance, that how well, how bad has the organization performed. So when we talk about this performance measurement and control, what is the whole objective and whole purpose of this specific thing? The whole purpose of this is that under this we would be discussing, we would be calculating the performance of the organization in different manners. We would be then commenting on those performances, that how has the organization performed and what could be done to improve the performances. So this is something that we would be doing. Now, so this is something of an introduction about the performance management syllabus. Now let me just guide you something. What is going to be my strategy, my approach? My strategy, my approach is going to be for any specific area of the syllabus that I will be referring to. The first thing that I will do for you people is that I will have a quick revision of that area. I repeat, the first thing that I'll do is that I will have a quick revision for that area. And once I've done a quick revision for that area, I will go through the OTQ practice of that area, and plus if there are the constructed response questions, so I would go for the constructed response questions also. So what we will do is that we will have revision, we will have the OTQ practice, and we'll have constructed response question. And my whole objective is going to be that I would try and make sure that I do the recent past paper questions. And in addition to the recent questions, I would also like to offer to you people that I would be using the ACCA CBE practice platform. So ACCA CBE practice platform is also going to be used, in which I would be practicing the past paper question. This is going to be a comprehensive course. This is going to be a very much focused course and would help you inshallah pass. So stay tuned and continue attending the lectures and continue benefiting from it, watching it yourself and sharing with your friends and colleagues, so that it could help you achieve the pass. So I hope that you all would have enjoyed the session of today. I will continue again tomorrow, and in tomorrow's session I would be going through the specialized cost and management accounting techniques with you people, and I would be explaining those, I'll be discussing those, I'll be discussing the different examination questions related to those. So thank you very much all of you, thank you for time, thank you for attending the session.